This system runs an $80,000 business. Now, most marketing agencies would never show you this because this framework takes years of understanding human behavior to actually get this deployed. And today I'm going to break down exactly how it works. The traffic, the automations, the follow-up sequences, everything. I've used this exact same framework for brands making $20 million a year to celebrities like Tarek El Moussa and Fabio Viviani. And at the very end, I'm going to give you the starter template absolutely for free. Let's get into it. 8 years ago, I was running my old business and I had a massive break on TikTok. Every single video I was making, I was going viral. Now the problem was I had no system behind it. I had DMs coming in, phone numbers being collected, emails being collected, but zero automations and zero follow-ups happening. I was literally keeping all of my data in a simple spreadsheet. And that spreadsheet was supposed to track everything, and I was gonna get to it later. But as you know, as a business owner, things that you push under the rug, you never get back to. So I was working 14-hour days, still losing deals, and not because I was bad at what I did, it was because I literally, like I said, had no system, no automations running, nothing at all. Leads were coming in, but every single one was depending on me to actually follow up. And being human and running a business and working 14 to 16 hours a day, you don't have time to take care of all of this, especially when you're first starting out and it's just you running the business. So a few years after that incident of having all this data coming in and never following up, I calculated so I could understand how much I missed out on. And I came to about $1 million based on the close rate that I had and based on the product that I was selling. That's how much we lost out on all those leads that were never followed up with. All those leads that never had a timely response to when they were interested in learning more about what we had to offer. At that point, I told myself, I have to learn how to automate marketing for a business, or I will never have a successful business. I understood the creativity of going viral on social media, but I had no system behind it to do the work while I slept. So I studied everything about automated marketing, all the systems, the tools, the software. This is when AI started coming out, and I just dove deep into it. And as I was learning about it, I started posting about it online. As I started perfecting my craft in automations and building automated marketing systems, people started to notice. People started to implement these systems that I was giving out for free, and they started growing their business. They started having success. They do $15,000 weeks with one of our systems that we implemented. Tarek El Moussa from HGTV, Fabio Viviani, celebrity chef with restaurants all over the US. Companies doing $20 million plus were implementing our systems and having massive success. The nice part is I follow this journey. I'm able to learn the strategies that they use to go viral on social media, the creativity needed for ads that actually convert, and what marketing automations are crucial for scaling. We do this every single day, so we know what works, what doesn't work. We can literally see human psychology at its finest. It's all data that we get to analyze every day, and we see what email works, the time that we send the email, what's the perfect time, how fast does a follow-up have to be. All this data we study and perfect and build these systems. So here's what's happening to most businesses right now. They have leads coming in, maybe ads, content, referrals, whatever it is, but a lot of the times they're going nowhere. And you might say, well, I'm emailing them or I'm texting them, but you're probably not doing it the right way and you're probably not doing it enough. And most likely a lot of your data is going into CRMs that nobody's really checking. What we found is the average business only follows up one time. And then their competitors following up 7 times and they're wondering where the disconnect is. The thing is, people are extremely busy right now. And if you send one text or one call or one email, it's most likely going to get missed, or they see it, and I'm sure you do this all the time, you see it, but you just forget about it. It's not until you're thinking about that specific product or service that email pops up, grabs your attention, and that could be the moment that you actually buy, right? So the importance of following up multiple times is what's going to help you get that deal, whether you're selling a product or service. And we find that most companies don't really have a lead problem because there is so many ways to get data coming in. It's literally Google and top businesses' business model, where the most valuable currency right now is data. A lot of these companies know everything about us. So I'm going to show you how you can almost copy their framework and understand your client at a much deeper level. So the systems I build, they follow the same framework. It's basically 3 stages, and you want to make sure you have each of these stages in your business. It's the top of the funnel, which is how you get found, how strangers become leads, and that's what's feeding the brain. Then you have the middle of the funnel. This is how you build trust. This is how leads become believers. We're going to nurture the brain. Then you have the bottom of the funnel. This is how you close, how believers become customers, and we're going to extract the value from the brain. That $80,000 per month coaching business is using this exact framework. Fuel Meal's doing $15,000 weeks, same framework. The difference between businesses at scale and businesses that struggle isn't luck, and it's not talent. It's whether there's a system that remembers everything and never forgets to follow up. So I would recommend writing this down: TOFU, MOFU, and BOFU, and look at your own marketing, look at your own marketing system, and make sure that you have each and every one of those stages. So let's break down and first go into what I like to call the brain, and that's going to be your CRM. That's the foundation. This is like your single source of truth where phone calls, emails, DMs, referrals, everything gets stored. This is your data hub. And if you're just starting out, there's a lot of good software out there, such as Go High Level. It's one I would recommend. Or if you're a larger company, you might be using HubSpot or Salesforce, whatever it is. A recommendation: we use Audio. Audio is quickly rising in the ranks of good CRMs. It's literally incredible. It does a lot of things automatically that before was a lot of manual work that I hate. I want to get rid of all manual work if possible and try to automate things that are not high value on what I'm doing on a day-to-day business level. And what I like about Audio is when we have leads coming in, we're always tracking where they're coming from. Are they coming from a free offer? Are they coming from the website? Are they coming from my Instagram page? Where are they coming from? What offer did they get? And we want as much possible information about that individual as we can possibly get. Names, emails, do they have a business, no business, where are they located, what state, what country. We want to know everything about that individual. It's the same thing like Google. They know everything about you, and you want to act like them, and you want to get all the data about your customer because it's going to help you run your business better. So TOFU is really about feeding the brain. It's the top of the funnel. It has one job. It's to reach people that never have heard of you and to get them to raise their hand and be like, hey, I'm kind of interested. So to feed the brain, you really have 4 buckets of traffic. And I think people a lot of the times get this wrong where they just want to do one thing and they think, okay, I'm just going to run ads and I'm going to get all these leads coming in and everything's going to be great. It's perfect. But for all the large brands we work with, they all have a diversified portfolio, and the largest brands do all 4 of these. So bucket number 1 is going to be your paid faucets, Meta, Google, TikTok ads, and really you're buying speed. You turn that faucet on, you start putting money in, and leads come in, and it's great. But once you turn it off, obviously the leads stop. And in 2026, I would recommend creative first ads. A lot of ads, a lot of companies, when they first come to us, they're putting out these static images that are so boring, that is so like 2015 and nobody care about anymore. When you're scrolling on TikTok or scrolling on Instagram, the only reason someone's going to give you a millisecond is if that first second is something creative and interesting that makes them want to stop. It interrupts whatever they're thinking, whatever they're trying to find. It interrupts that thinking pattern, makes them stop. So 2026 creative ads are crushing it. And a lot of agencies are running these boring ads and you're wondering why, the cost per lead is so high. And a lot of that's dying now. So creator first, 100%. And the issue with running paid ads is it's great. And every successful business does it. And eventually you need to get to that level, but you're kind of renting your leads because you have to pay for it. and one algorithm change, such as Andromeda, a lot of the systems that worked before are now different. So it's constantly a game of how am I going to adjust to these updates every couple months, or what's working this month might not be working next month. So it's constantly a game. So that's why you want to focus on the other three buckets. Bucket number 2 is digital real estate. You have YouTube, SEO, podcasts. It's long-term value. The nice thing about a YouTube video is it's on the internet for years. If someone types in, how do I make an $80,000 automation system? I'm hoping this video is the one that comes up and they see me and learn about me, right? YouTube is like a search engine. It's like Google. If you want to learn how to change your car tire, you can either type it into Google, type it into YouTube, and now you have a video. I'm sure some guy's going to pop up with a 5-minute video, very informative, good videography, and completely teach you how to change your tire. Now, bucket number 3 is the hunters. So you have your cold calls, cold emails, cold DMs, and your outbound. And a lot of brands skip this because it feels uncomfortable. Totally understandable, randomly calling businesses. But I feel there's not a lot of competition of doing this. So as a marketing agency in Pennsylvania, when we first started, our offer was we literally call people and say, hey, we're a local business, and right now we're showing other local businesses love by coming out and shooting a free video for you. We'll edit it, we'll post it for you, we'll show you how to adjust your social media settings so you get higher engagement. You can either do it as an ad or you can do it as a social media post. And because we understand creativity first, a lot of our videos we did would garner a lot more views than they ever had before. So they're like, wow, these guys know what they're talking about. Yes, it takes time and resources, and a lot of people say no, but if your offer is good enough, you will get yeses and you will get your foot in the door, but it has to be something free, has to be something good. I mean, who wouldn't want a free social media shoot? We brought a whole, a professional videographer out, all of our cameras, lights, everything. It was legit. And when we showed up, they're like, wow, this is awesome. Nobody's doing this in our area. And that's why it works so well. Now, bucket number 4 is your trust network. Not everybody has this, but I believe if you opened up your phone contacts and look through your social media pages, you would find you have a lot more of these than you actually thought. And that's just referrals. So, people that already know you, trust you, maybe you went to college with them, whatever it is, probably have a lot of those individuals. You're just not aware of it because you haven't looked through your contacts. But if you did, I'm sure you could probably find a lot of people that would be interested in either taking one of your free services or products or eventually moving on to a paid service. Again, every business that's very successful that we work with do all 4 of these. Maybe Fuel Meals doesn't do cold calling, but they're hammering the other 3. And the 80K per month coach, he might not be doing cold calling, but he's doing the other 3. So at least 3 or 4 of these. If you can do all 4, obviously it's going to be the best. And I would write all those down so you can understand what foundation you have and what you're missing. Now, moving along, you have traffic coming in, they found you. So what do you do with that data? You don't want to just send them right to your product page or right to a high ticket item of $2,000 with no offer or no discount code or no anything, no email collection, no phone number collection. You're just wasting data. You're wasting leads. That's like proposing on the first date. Like, it's technically possible, but it most likely won't ever work. So you need some sort of bridge, something that's free, like our free offer that we had, and it provides massive value and again, has to capture their information. So here's one of our offers that we made recently, and we've done hundreds of offers. So this one is taking a completely different approach. A lot of people now do like, hey, if you want this PDF, give us your information and I'll send it to you. It's boring. So we made a gamified custom audit called the Revenue Leak Assessment. So business owners will take 6 questions and they get this custom marketing score. So they see exactly where they're losing money. We've had over 3,000 businesses fill this out. And each stage, whatever their score is, it'll tell them how to fix it. So it's very cool, it's dynamic, and it's custom to them. And now the cool part about this is not only do we get their data, their email, their phone number, their business name, but we also know exactly what their pain points are. We know what they're struggling with. We know what they're doing in marketing and what they're not doing in marketing. So if we do end up hopping on that phone call, we know exactly what pain points to target and how we can help that individual or that business. So let's look at some of the best people in the game. You have Mosey, Dan Martell, Cody Sanchez. Every single one of them have a compelling free offer in their bio. And it's not something boring and weak. They have a specific resource that solves a problem. You do not want to just throw together some GPT garbage and put it out there as your free offer, because that's your first impression of someone coming in and looking at your business. And if it sucks, they're not ever going to move on to something paid. So some examples is that we've done in the past. You have webinars, you can give a tool, a template, a quiz or assessment, a resource list. You do a 15-minute training video. If you're very informed on whatever you're talking about, you do a 15-minute video. They're like, wow, this dude's awesome. I need to learn more. That's great. And you can do a lot of these offers, not just one. We've done hundreds. Sometimes I even do an offer on every single Instagram video. I used to in the past. Now let's move on to the discovery shift. Here's what most marketers are not talking about. The way people discover businesses is rapidly shifting. So before you would type into Google and whoever's has the best SEO would pop up first. But now we have things like Perplexity and ChatGPT, and a growing chunk of those searches and those answers are people going into their GPTs and asking AI, who's the best at X? And then AI is giving them the answer. This is this new form of search. It's called GEO, Generative Engine Optimization. So when someone asks who's the best at building marketing systems, I want the AI to recommend me. And we're trying to get on this very early and start training AI to start picking up some of our keywords, start picking up who we are. And if you're not doing this in your business, your competitors will, and eventually the landscape will change. You can see already in Google, when you make a search, before, who was ever paying for SEO would pop up first, but now Gemini, Google's AI, is giving you the answer first. You're seeing that first. So if you're not taking advantage of Geo, you're going to be left behind in your business, especially on that front. Now let's talk about some of the tools to build this offer out, because obviously you want it to look nice. Again, it's your first impression. And if you're starting out, again, I recommend Go High Level. Some of our clients still use Go High Level. Sometimes we build systems in Go High Level, and we started out on Go High Level, and it is a good tool. You literally have your landing page, your forms, your CRM all in one, your automations all in one. And if you watch some videos online or watch me long enough, I'm sure I'll show you a system and you can build it in an afternoon. Like if you have a new offer and you eventually learn Go High Level, you can come out with offers every week, every other day if you're, eventually become good at it. Now, the more advanced you come, you want to up your game, maybe something like Webflow for design control. Or honestly, now what we're doing is prompting our sites with Claude and we're deploying them Vercel. That's what we do for clients now. It's fast, effective, and literally looks incredible. It's what everything I'm showing you is built on now. And it just looks so professional, so clean, so dynamic. I believe the future is going to be all prompting websites and prompting automations, and the AI is going to build them. But obviously you have to have a creative eye, a design eye. You can't just have AI spit out some landing page and expect it to be perfect. You have to know how to prompt, and you have to have an eye for what works. You have to understand human behavior and where to put the buttons, what colors to use. There's a lot more into it than just saying, hey, build me a website and put this, and that there. There's a lot more to it, but with prompting, you can deploy extremely fast without coding. So now we have these 4 buckets: ads that are going to a quiz, YouTube videos driving to a free training, cold outreach is trying to book a call, referrals driving directly to sales. All of them are feeding your CRM. For Meta and TikTok, we're disrupting the scroll, basically. We're making creatives that are popping out and saying, wait, I got to see this. I want to, see what comes next, what's happening. And at this stage, you're never asking for sales. You're asking for attention. The sales is going to come later on. This is just the first layer. So now we're going to move to Mofu, which is nurturing that brain. So now you've captured this data in this net, and they're in your CRM. You have their information. Maybe you have their email, phone number, name, business name, whatever. So 90% of businesses that we find that come on Maybe they have a system. Maybe they use, there's tons of systems out there. I'm not going to go through naming them all. There's different ones for gyms, different ones for restaurants. There's so many of them. And when a lead comes in and you just get a thanks for downloading and you get the offer and then everything just stops, or you send maybe a text and an email and then it just stops and the copy's wrong and the wording's wrong and the timing is wrong, you're going to be losing out on so many deals. Literally, your database is just decomposing money. And it's leads that you paid for with your time, your money, ads is just dying. And I hate to see it happen because so many businesses are working so hard to get these leads come in and they don't understand how to now convert them to dollars. So the middle funnel is the nurture systems that are doing the heavy lifting. And that's where the 80,000 per month system really shines. So as you know, not all leads are going to be equal. Someone that comes off of a highly targeted meta ad is going to be much higher on the list than someone that watched an Instagram reel and gave their name and phone number to get some free tool. They're going to be more on the bottom of the list, right? And if you treat them the same, you're really going to annoy the person that just got the free tool because they're not as interested. Or if you're just hammering the person that just came off a meta ad and you're not showing them how to buy or hop on a call, but you're sending them a million texts and emails, they're going to get annoyed also. So you have to segment your CRM with where this data is coming in. You have to track it. That is where we set up triggers on behavior and not just time. So a basic example sequence is day one, they get what they signed up for. Day two, you share a quick win on the topic. Day four, you tell a story how you or the client struggle with this exact problem. Day 7, you show proof, case studies, results, transformation. Day 10, you address the biggest objection they probably have. And day 14, you make an offer, invite them to take the next step. Now, this isn't spam because every email provides value, but it's strategic value that moves them closer to buying. So now we'll move on to behavior triggers, which is going to be a little bit more advanced, but a lot of the magic comes from this. So did they complete our audit but not book a call? Now we have a specific trigger that'll fire. They get an email sequence designed specifically for audit completers who didn't book. Different messaging and different angle. Did they book a call and not show up? Now we're doing a no-show sequence. That's what's going to fire next. And we're not begging them to show back up on the call. We're providing value in an easy way for them to rebook because there's a reason they didn't rebook. And whatever it is, we're going to try our best based on past results and past data and human behaviors to target those reasons they didn't book and send those texts and send those the proof to get them to actually come back on that call or to rebook the call. And we're going to make it very easy for that to happen. So the way to think about this is if a lead enters, whatever they do next after entering has to be tracked. Did they fill out your form? So did they complete your audit or quiz but never book a call? Wherever they stop is where a automation nurture sequence must trigger. Did they get a free offer? Okay. Nurture sequence for sending them more really cool stuff, such as continuing a newsletter for them. You want your system to be constantly working while you sleep, qualifying people, learning more about them, extracting more data that's feeding your brain, your CRM, and trying to move those hot buyers to the top of the line. All right, so let's look at this $80,000 per month system. And feel free to screenshot it and study it. Now, this is the actual system that we built for this high earning coach, earning $80,000 per month, close to $1 million run rate. And this automation is responsible for 95% of that. All right, so let's dive into this here. You have the organic methods. You have Instagram, YouTube, podcast, TikTok, LinkedIn, of course. Then you have the profile optimization. You want to set up your profiles that are actually going to deliver success. You want nice banners, nice profile pictures, easy link that takes them on to the next step, and good optimized descriptions. Now, this is a high ticket funnel. So they're going to a landing page. It has to load fast, high speed. We use a new VSL Wistia player that removes the speed ups and skipping so people actually have to watch it. It then goes to fill out, and the fill out then goes to a calendar, which is round robin because they have a sales team. The lead receives an email and a text, and they must actually confirm, because we find with this particular coach, when they don't confirm, the show up rate is very low and they're wasting time. So they actually have to book the call and then confirm the call. Now, once the call is confirmed, it moves on to a text and email sequence for 4 days. Now, if they don't confirm within 24 hours, then the send reminder to confirm a call gets sent. If the lead still doesn't respond, they send a rebooking link 5 hours later. Then it goes to the non-booking setter sequence. So the customer fills out but doesn't book, setter notification, and the setter tries to rebook the call. Now, when we're looking at the day 1 to 4, each of these days are very particular with what we're sending. And it's based on the behavior that we've studied with this particular client and what actually converts, what actually sells. So day number 1, obviously, the call is confirmed, email is confirmed, and we just set expectations on that first email. Next, we're going to address a core objection that this coach frequently has, and we're sending a high value text. So email is different from the text. It's not the same thing. And then after, they get an email to introduce some social proof. Now, day 3, we reveal the how. We showcase a result and then an SMS 24-hour reminder that their appointment's coming up. Now, on day 4, they get the final preparation. They get another proof, and they get a SMS with the direct link and pushing the urgency on, you have to show up to this call because we have a lot of applicants, and if you don't, you're gonna miss your spot. Now we can look up to the show up and closing. If they showed up to the call, obviously, did they close, yes or no? It'll move to a different sequence. If yes, it goes to the automated onboarding, automated contracts, which we set up as well. If they did not close, it's going to have a reschedule reminder, email, SMS, and boom, we go over to the non-booking setter sequence again, and the no response email nurture, which we'll touch on in a second. Now, the no-show sequence, if they didn't show, they get an SMS, wait 2 hours, 22 hours, 24 hours, 24 hours, 24 hours. It goes all the way through, trying to get that rebook, trying to say, hey, you didn't show up, but I'm gonna give you an easy way to show up. Now, this all leads to the very bottom. If it's no, 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 they didn't show up, they didn't canceled out, whatever, we don't want to just throw the lead away. This is where you could have a low ticket offer come in. So it could go to your email nurture. You want to tag them in your smart list as nurture, and it will go to a multi-sequence emails to eventually rebook. So they get personalized emails. They have low ticket offers that they're being sent, free offers that are being sent, and just really providing value. Now, eventually, if this lead is cold and dead, you eventually want to get rid of them. And that specific point is going to be different for every single company or business. But when that lead is dead, you want to stop wasting money on trying to actually rebook them. I'm not going to pretend that building a system like that is like simple and you can type it into Gemini and the code's just gonna put it together, because it's a lot of human psychology and actually understanding that specific client. Each and every system is different. There's a lot of moving parts. Things break. You have to adapt. Things change, and you have to manage that every step of the way. But there's something I want you to understand. The complexity is earned, and you can start at a very simple stage. Again, I was only doing tofu, top of the funnel, getting all these leads coming in, but I was still running a $20,000, $30,000 per month software company 8 years ago with my business, and I was doing 0 automations. So when you add Mofu, that $1 million I lost out on, if you add Mofu, you're only going to get more results, more money, more revenue. And you can start at the basics. And the basics are a landing page, a form, going to your CRM, automatic delivery, and a basic email sequence that gets set out after that. If you build that first, you get it working, you see what breaks, you see what people like, what people don't like, and then you start building on top of it. That $80,000 per month coach, we built something simple. As we learned the client, we adapted to that. We grew it. We added more automations. We changed the copy of the emails. We changed the timing on when we send the text. We changed the timing on when we send the email. We studied open rates. It's all coming down to the data and the analytics and what's that showing us. And what you might think in your head works is completely wrong to what the customer actually wants. So it's something you always want to keep in mind when you're building copy or making these automation systems. The real secret, the thing that really drives conversions in the middle of the funnel, it's not these fancy funnels and all the automations I just showed you, and it's not perfect copy, it's proof before the pitch. If you notice something about that system, there was so much proof involved in each and every one of those days that we're sending out. Before any of our clients ever ask to buy something, we're showing them what we've actually accomplished for others. For example, if they see a Fuel Meals ad, they got a really jacked fitness guy showing them, hey, this is what I eat to get super lean. They're seeing the proof before they buy. Or they get a retargeting ad that's showing them, hey, this meal is actually a lot cheaper than if you go to McDonald's and wait in line for 10 minutes and the ingredients are shit. And the coach is saying, hey, this is my client before me and this is my client after me. And that person can relate with you. So when a lead sees what you've done for others, the sale conversion changes completely. They're not wondering if you can help. They're wondering if you actually have room for you to let them in. So if a lot of this stuff is making sense for you, and maybe you're a business owner and you don't have a lot of these automations built in, or you're trying to start a new business and you have no idea where to start, please hit the subscribe button. This is a new YouTube channel and I'm breaking down these systems and marketing tools and automations every single week. And we have a lot of experience working with national brands, celebrities, and even international brands all across the world. And we understand the behavior of different markets, from e-commerce to trading coaches to real estate. And we can see this data that's coming in and we can perfect these systems to increase the sales. And not just the big guys. We work with a lot of local mom and pop businesses as well around here, local restaurants, small companies. So it's not just the big companies that are doing this. We're building these systems for small, even one-person businesses or small restaurants with a staff of 4. All this is applicable to every business, every shape and size. And a lot of the stuff we used to do consulting, a lot of the stuff I'm going to be giving away for free on my YouTube, we actually would sell for close to 5 figures on each and every consulting call. And now we are just giving this away for free. It started on my Instagram and now we're moving to YouTube. So let's close some deals. BoFu time. This is the bottom of the funnel and basically where everything pays off. If you did the top of the funnel, the middle of the funnel correct, BoFu, the bottom, should be the easiest. Most people think it's actually the hardest stage, but if you do it right, it will make your sales almost automatic. There's one key point to all of this. You do not want to make it hard for people to give you money at this stage. Here's what kills conversion at the finish line. Slow landing pages. Every second of load time costs you 7% in conversions. So test your pages on mobile, make sure the button is lined up so you don't have to scroll down to actually click it, and make sure your landing pages and everything is loading fast and it's clean. Confusing checkouts, too many steps, too many fields, unclear pricing, hard to book calendars. Pick these 3 times in the next 8 weeks. People are going to forget about you in 8 weeks. You have to make it easy. You have to make it fast. And the worst is uninformed salespeople. If you're hopping on a call with somebody that you know nothing about and you have to ask all these questions, it's going to be much harder to close them. But if you're hopping on a call and they filled out my revenue test and I know they're running ads, but they're not doing Google, then I can start talking about Google and why they need Google, right? Or I can look at their meta ads and I can look at their analytics and see, hey, your ads are actually performing very bad and I would do X, Y, Z to fix them. And this is how we would do it. So remember, at this stage, your CRM should have been tracking everything. You know who filled out what, you know what they watch, you know when they stop, you know what objections they probably have. And you're going to use that information for when you actually hop on the call. You should already know when that individual hops on, hey, I saw you filled out this form to get this free offer. How was that offer? Did it help your business? Did you find it useful? Hey, I saw that you're struggling with creating a website. Have you gotten that figured out? Or is that something that you would like to explore on this call together? That level of personalization really will help you close deals at the end. Now, the single biggest factor at the bottom of the funnel is speed to lead. Now, we've tested this extensively. Leads contacted under 5 minutes close at a 3 to 4x higher rate than leads contacted after an hour or more. Speed to lead in high ticket or emotional sales are extremely, extremely important. If someone comes off of a highly targeted ad, fills out your form, gives your information, and gives you their phone number, they are hot right now in this moment. They're ready to buy, they're interested, they're hyped up. But an hour later, they might get a call from their mom, or they might be scrolling TikTok and find something new, or maybe something happened and they got to go back to work. But whatever it is, they most likely are going to forget about you, and they're not going to be in that same emotional state to make that purchase. And a lot of agencies I see now are hyped up saying, hey, we'll respond to all your leads in 24 hours. Like it's some sort of flex, but really they're losing 90% of those people that filled out those leads because they're on to something else at that point. So 5 minutes, guys, 5 minutes or less is that sweet spot. If you can do that, you will close way more deals than you could ever imagine. Now, obviously, when you're first starting out, or if you're a large business and you're not really doing high ticket sales, you can't always be available. And that's where AI can actually come in and help you. Some clients of ours are deploying AI agents for their first touch. The agent will immediately answer questions, problems, shipping problems, etc. And they can also qualify leads and really just handle a lot of the basic questions before the call, or before they purchase a product, or they're having an issue with a discount code, something of that nature. But the nuance to all of this is, if you're doing high ticket sales, a personal touch is always going to win at the end of the day. If you're selling a product like Fuel Meals, selling incredible nutritious food prepackaged that ships to your door, it's not necessarily has to be a personal touch because the product is not that expensive. So in high ticket, the AI can handle the speed, qualification, and then the human can actually handle the close. So let me give you a little case study for Fuel Meals, the brand that we helped build a system that's making $15,000 a month. It's the same framework, but a different application. So their checkout flow is clean. It's one page, minimal fields, clear pricing. Now, if someone follows their Instagram page, a new follower, a new lead coming in, we have a ManyChat automation that will immediately message that individual and give them a 40% discount code. They get thousands of people that follow them every single week. So that's thousands of people that before were not getting any touches. Now they're getting a touch. They're getting a 40% discount code once they follow, and we're asking for the email. So before, if you're a content creator, you got all these people coming in, followers coming in, even if it's just one or two per month, that's a lead coming in that you can now set up an automation to immediately contact them and extract data, whether it's a form of a phone number or email. And just that simple automation makes them thousands of dollars every single week. Now, of course, if we get their email, now they're in the newsletter, and now they're in the sphere of Fuel Meals. They're getting meta ads, they're getting retargeting ads, they're getting content, they're getting ManyChat automations, they're getting 40% offer discount codes, they're getting emails, they're getting everything. They're in this massive sphere, and the only way out is to opt out. So meanwhile, they're going to have retargeting ads following them across Instagram and Facebook with a creative first approach that I talked about before, with dynamic actual good editing. The product they looked at, social proof, testimonials, they're going to be seeing athletes, they're going to see comparative videos before and afters, athletes that are super jacked talking about how they get jacked eating Fuel Meals. It's easy to make, 3 minutes, the list goes on. They're surrounded, there's proof everywhere, clear path to purchase, and there's no friction when they go to purchase, and they get 40% off. So they're in this sphere of Fuel Meals everywhere they go. They showed that little bit of interest. They want something healthy. It's a new year, new me. They want to do something better with their life. You get Fuel Meals with 4 ingredients, high protein, and they got all these cool people promoting it. It's a no-brainer, and you get 40% off. And that's how you do $15,000 weeks with just our segment, our automation system. They have a whole nother segment of business that's not even us. This is just our little small segment here, and that's how effective we are. Now, here's why these systems work so well. They deliver 3 things. Validation. Yes, your problem is real. You're not crazy. It's fixable. Authority. We solved this before. Here's the proof multiple times. Clarity. Here's exactly what happens next step. Step 1, 2, and step 3. Most marketing is missing at least one of these. Usually clarity. People don't buy because they're confused about what happens next. What happens after I pay? I give you $5,000. Now what? You have to spell it out. You want to remove all the mystery from the transaction. If someone buys fuel meals, how long until that package delivers at my door? What's the package going to look like? Is it going to be iced? Is it going to be ready to eat? What does the packaging look like? They need to know everything. What happens after that $80,000 per month coach, after they book a high ticket sales call? What do they get? Are they getting a community? Are they getting a private coach? Are they getting an app? Are they getting a software? They need to know exactly what they're getting after they make the purchase. And remember, in this whole marketing sphere that you're building, nobody should ever leave it unless they opt out. You know the movie Wolf on Wall Street, they either buy or they die. Now, it sounds aggressive, but again, we talked about this. Most people need multiple touch points before they're ready. Some 20. Let me zoom out for a second. Everything I just showed you, the automations, the sequences, the funnels, it's all just infrastructure. The real unlock is the psychology behind it. Most businesses treat marketing like hunting. They go out, find a customer, drag it back in, and then start over with the next customer. And that's exhausting and it doesn't scale. What I'm showing you is farming. You build the system once, you plant the seeds with your 4 ways of planting them, you nurture them with your MoFu, and you literally harvest forever. Because these things, when you put them out, like a YouTube video, it will harvest forever. If I put a YouTube video out attached to an offer, attached to a link, that YouTube video will continue getting views for the next 5-10 years, feeding my brain, feeding more leads. The leads you capture today might not convert tomorrow, but in 3 months, in 6 months, in a year, in 3 years, we've had customers with our clients come back after 3 years because they're still getting emails, and that one email 3 years later eventually brought them back in for that conversion. So if you have a system that keeps nurturing them or moves them to a low ticket separate offer altogether, that is your marketing sphere that you're building. Every single layer counts. You're building something that doesn't depend on you showing up every single day, and it's a system that will last always. So that's the system. Top of the funnel feeds the brain, middle of the funnel nurtures the brain, bottom extracts the value. 4 traffic buckets, 1 CRM, behavior-based automations, speed to lead, and proof before the pitch. Write that down. That is what's behind this $80,000 per month coaching business, $15,000 per month e-commerce brands, and $20 million companies. And now you have it. I built the starter version of everything I just showed you. Landing page, forms, nurture sequences, the whole flow. It's linked in the description below. It's free. And if this makes sense and you want more breakdowns like this for your business or a business you're growing, please subscribe because I'm going to be hammering out these videos every single week for you guys. And I'll see you on the next one.